like a pro. You thought.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to Brandi Beauty TV. So today we have my lovely client Whitney here, and y'all, Whitney has been knowing me since I was 14 years old. Hey Whitney. Maybe even 13, 14, somewhere in there. And so today she has decided that, look, we had been going on a series. We have done a couple sessions on her hair, and Whitney wears her hair curly almost always. Like, she maybe gets her hair pressed out, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 times a year, if that. I'm going to go with 2 times a year. She likes to wear her hair curly. That's her preference, and it looks really, really good on her. I mean, really, really good. I love when she wears her curls. So I do her hair color, and I see her frequently for gray touch-ups, and for highlight touch-ups. But when Whitney initially first started coming to me, her color first started off as a color correction. She had went to a stylist and they accidentally did her hair completely blonde. I mean, she was just a solid blonde. She didn't have any dimension. Like, it was over highlighted tremendously, which can happen, depending on how the consultation goes. Sometimes things can just go left. But at any rate, she wanted to get it corrected. So that was years and years ago. So now we're here today. Color correction has grown completely out. And so I have started her hair color, but Whitney wants to be blonde. So, I was doing her highlights. I never overdid them. And she was like, I want some more highlights. Like, each session, she was trying to ask for more and more highlights. And I was like, okay, do you want to be a brunette or do you want to be blonde? Because there is a big difference between the two. I'm like, you can be a blonde with subtle brunette in there. You can be a dimensional blonde. There is a such thing. Or you can be a dimensional brunette. Which one are you aiming for? So she showed me a picture. I'm like, you want to be blonde? I said, okay. So I gave her my talk, hey, blonde is high maintenance. Wearing blonde and having curls, that's a commitment, depending on your texture and everything. But I know Whitney does right by her hair. I see her the way I need to see her. She gets her hair trimmed frequently. So I know damage is really not a thing. And she takes really, really good care of her hair. And she doesn't overwhelm it with products either. So we were good to go. So today I am going to be taking her hair up a notch, and we are going to make her a blonde. And I'm super, super excited because I love doing curly blondes. I think it just looks so cute, but you also have to be really strategic when you are doing blonde on curly hair, because it can look really, really patchy, really, really easy, really, really quick. So I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to achieve this. So normally when y'all see me doing hair color, I'm normally always performing a service on blow-dried hair or straight hair. But Whitney wears her hair curly most of the time. And so one of the biggest takeaways, one of the biggest keys that you can use when coloring someone's hair is to figure out how they wear their hair mostly. Because hair color on straight hair reads completely different versus hair color on curly hair. So instead of blowing Whitney's hair out, and instead of pressing it out, which I initially was going to do, I was like, wait a minute, let's backtrack here. No, you wear your hair curly, so I'm just going to go ahead and do them on your curls, because it is going to allow me to see exactly where I'm placing it. Like, I'm going to be able to get like a little peek into the future and see exactly how it's going to look. So with curls, you cannot do small, thin, anything extremely blended. With curly hair, everything needs to be pronounced. The thicker and wider the sections, the better. With curly hair, it's not a good idea to blend out anything, because they're going to get lost in the curls, especially when it comes down to textured hair. You want to be intentional about every single placement. So with Whitney, I am probably doing maybe 5-6 foils per section, well, at least in the back. And I'm going to make her super, super dimensional. So good thing is that we already have color from our previous sessions. So things are already looking up because we already have that base there. Like she's kind of already got that perfect dimension going on. But these highlights are going to be super, super, super light. Like after we get done applying these highlights, there will be nowhere else for Whitney to go. But that's what she wants. Like there will be no more lifting of her hair. I've already told her after this session, I'm not lifting her hair anymore until we get about 4 to 6 inches of new growth, enough to do a face frame or a partial. But I will not be highlighting it anymore because she's not going to need it. Excuse us. We in there dancing and cutting up to Beyonce's new album. Did y'all listen to it? Because it's just so good. I want to go to a Renaissance party so bad. Off topic. But anyways, so I'm going to be doing really thick, chunky highlights. All around her head. And then I'm going to go back in there and tip out some of the ends like I'm doing now. Just so you have that nice, dimension in there. You have different places the highs and lows are coming from. We want everything to be blended but pronounced. That's the goal with curly hair. You don't want to be too blended, but you also don't want to be patchy looking, like stripy. It's nice if that's what you want, but I love when curly blondes, it's just looking like, where's the color coming from? Like just diffused, but you can see everything. That's the goal. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I can't wait for y'all to see the end product. And in this video, I actually did no styling. I'm actually going to let you guys see how Whitney styles her own curls, because I thought this was the perfect video to, show how you can do some things at home, especially for my curly girls, those who like to bounce back and forth between the two sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up Whitney's hair, and then we'll go on to the next part. Okay, y'all, so for Whitney's formula, I use my Blonde Solutions lightener, which is my favorite lightener. And I also use 20 volume developer. Now, traditionally, I normally use 10 volumes sometimes, but being that Whitney's hair was predominantly brunette and we weren't working with much blonde, that kind of left me some wiggle room to go in with that 20. Plus, I wanted it to process a little fast since I was going to be using larger sections. If I had did smaller sections, then I would have used 10 just to get the most out of the timing without having so much damage. But the 20 volume was great, and it lifted so nicely. So in the back, I didn't do as many foils as the front because I still wanted her to have that nice face frame, and I wanted her to be much, much, much brighter around her face than the back, just so she have different pops of color peeking through. We didn't want her to looking too washed out, and as you can see, they are just about nice and ready to come out. So everything turned out real good. So while we were doing Whitney's hair, my client Ashley, Ashley's not my client. I'm lying. Ashley is my Redken representative. And she brought by this wonderful box of color from Redken, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And this is from their line with their demi colors that already have the bonders inside. So I use 9V and 10NB. 10NB is caramel cloud, and then the 9V is the platinum ice. And so I mixed those two to come up with Whitney's tone, and it turned out so beautiful. So I let Whitney process under the steamer for a little bit with her mask. I did an intensive repair mask, and I also did a violet toning mask, and I let her sit under the steamer for a little while before we got to this part with the curls. And y'all, her curls came out so cute. So let me tell you, here's my thing with curls, okay? Curls, people who wear their hair in natural curly styles, y'all know what I'm talking about. The first day, the curls be nice and tamed. And then each day, the longer you wear them, it swells and swells and swells. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So what y'all see today on camera, what I was able to film today during the actual session, was Whitney's hair nice and tamed. But let me tell you, I said, Whitney, you're going to have to send me some pictures of your hair, how it develops over time, because you're not going to be able to see the true brightness and the true tones when it's just nice and locked in and fresh. I'm like, I might have to see it later on. So y'all, I have so many pictures at the end so y'all can see Whitney's hair, how it just goes in phases and gets bigger and bigger and bigger by the day. But like I said before, I'm not styling Whitney's hair. She is actually juicing up her curls right now. And look, she's doing a good job. I was like, Whitney, I'm not gonna bother you. Go on and bring your products and do what you do. Now she's sitting up under the dryer, making sure her roots get dry. But I wanted to go ahead and put in what she was using. It's called Mousse Def, and I think you can get this from just about anywhere. I saw they had it at Target. I saw they had it at Walmart. And I think it made her curls just pop so nicely. Like, I was like, this is it's like a texture foam. So, that's something to consider, if you're having issues trying to find things that work for your hair. And it was saying that it was, 4C friendly, which it really just means kinky hair. But also keep in mind that curl pattern doesn't mean texture. You have to keep in mind if your hair is coarse, if it's fine. That's something to consider as well, because products not only they don't just cater to your curl pattern, they cater to the thickness of your strands first. All right, so now I'm just going through and trimming off the little ends that we sacrificed from the lightener. I knew some of it was going to get over processed towards the ends, but I also knew I was going to be cutting it out anyway, so we went ahead and just chopped off this little inch or two, and not even 2 inches, about an inch. And so here we are, and y'all, it just turned out so pretty. I'm really pleased with her hair. I can see how bright it's going to be, and Whitney, she also saw it a little bit too, but I said, honey, when this stuff dries, it's going to be a whole nother ball game. It's going to be a whole nother ball game, honey. So I said, send me the best pictures you can, and that's what she did. And look at that. Like, you see, like, all the light, super light blonde pieces, like, go back to the beginning of the video and compare it to these pictures. Now, she got some little filters on this one right here, but major difference. Like, she was sending me texts, I love my hair. I'm like, I'm so happy I was able to achieve what you wanted. Like, this is my favorite picture. Like, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't, hit the bell. And as always, I will see y'all in my next video.